Love is unconditional. There are no conditions where love cannot be seen and applied. Therefore, it is us that does not know love. But that's triggering to people because the ego in them that's separated from love and truth. Love and truth created us. The ego did not create love and truth. It wants to create its own truth, which is the absence of love. That's why the ego finds justifications to guilt, to blame, to have fear, and to have shame, which are all opposite of love. Love is not in those things. And so when you find conditions, right, when someone does something unloving to you, is your answer to be unloving back, or is your answer to be to forgive them, to give them grace? Because if it's to be unloving, then you've justified the absence of love in that moment. You don't see love in that moment. Therefore, you must not know love, because love does not stop existing, but you yourself has stopped existing in love. So it's you that's deviating and separating from unconditional love not being there. And that's the ego wanting to redefine what love is. I'm so justified in not being loving. That's the justification of the ego. That's how deep this is, because there are a lot of violent, crazy circumstances that you can't fathom forgiving, that you can't fathom giving grace to. And that's the point of the ego structure of this physical world. It's to separate from love so severely that you can't deny it. Therefore, it's all consuming real to us in all of our human senses here in the body. And since the ego identifies as the physical body, it makes all of this world more real than unconditional love itself. And so that's why it's so excruciatingly difficult and challenging in the human world to experience and challenge ourselves to always uphold unconditional love, because in the human experience, we're not rooted in unconditional love. We're rooted in the absence of it. And so that's what we have to be vigilant and tenacious with ourselves and be willing to question. Like, do I want to be right in my upset, or do I want to be happy in my truth and in love? Because when you choose forgiveness and grace and acceptance, you have it. When you choose guilt, blame, and anger, you have it. So whatever you choose, you're reinforcing and you're conditioning yourself. So the more that you're justified where love is not here, and I don't have to apply love, is the more that you're creating and reinforcing inside of not only your own mind to suffer, because when you're not forgiving someone, you're upset. It's not like you're guilting someone with peace. You're not shaming someone in happiness and in joy. You're already in the feeling that you're trying to give them. So the cause and effect is simultaneous. And so why do I want to cause the effect of suffering into my life when I can choose to cause peace and love into my life? Because the beauty is, since love is unconditional and never stops existing, it's always there. It's stronger. Fear is the one that dies. Love is not. So we can choose to have forgiveness of fears, the forgiveness of anger and blame and guilt in ourselves or others, so then we can have more space in ourselves to have the grace, compassion, and love. So then those realities are no longer something that we become upset with. They're realities that we accept and are no longer suffering. So we can experience the same life without upsets and to have more love.